But right now, we have more money news with the help of Crystal Howell. She is, of course, a certified internal auditor and she's a chartered professional accountant. Good morning to you, Crystal. Happy Monday.
Good morning, everybody. How are you doing?
Doing
Pretty good.
well.
Pretty
We
good,
we are
Crystal.
all yes, always happy to see you. So let's get right into it. Our managing those pennies session this morning as we continue that financial literacy. Key things that really can help us get on the right path to getting it right.
Yes, we want to make sure we get those good habits in the same way we would have been emphasizing them for individuals. It's of vital importance for business, especially those that may actually be incorporated. You have to make sure that you keep those records in place and that you have someone who is tracking your bookkeeping. And I know it's a word that a lot of persons don't like to hear, but good, accurate monthly bookkeeping is vital to making sure that you can run your business effectively. And a good bookkeeper, even if it is part-time, they're really worth their weight in gold. You don't want to wait until an external accountant has to do your year-end financial statements, and then you realize that your business is not performing the way that you expected it to, or you have unexpected tax obligations that you were not prepared for. You want to make sure that you've been keeping those records and that you have everything in place to be able to have all of those answers that you need, not just for your accountant, but for yourself. You want to know, how is my business performing on at least a month to month basis? And some of the numbers that you want to make sure that you keep in mind would be to look at how did you perform as compared to your prior period. And that could be looking at it from month to month, quarter to quarter, or even to look to see how did you perform as compared to last year. So we know that when you look at things month to month, every month is going to have something different, even in our personal lives. The month that you have your car insurance due is definitely going to be different to the month where you didn't have any major expenses. Or you can look at a month where your car needed some maintenance. That's obviously going to throw off your
Mm-hmm.
comparisons. It's not much different for a business. There are going to be months in your business, for example, Christmas. If you're comparing December to January sales, you know that there's going to be a huge difference, but you can at least understand and explain that. But when it comes to your other months, what is happening in those months that you can be able to increase your revenue, decrease your expenses, and especially if you know January is coming around and you know it's going to be a dry month, that's the month that you're going to really want to make sure you're extra tight on those expenses, or that you use December when that extra revenue is coming in to make sure any maintenance that you have to do, any sprucing up that needs to be done, is completed in that time where your cash flow is looking a little bit better. For those persons who depend on tourists, which unfortunately in this time, our tourist season is not going to be looking as good, what are you doing to make sure that in those times where you have seasonal customers, you are making sure that all of the things that you need to do, your maintenance, your key capital purchases, all of those things happen in those months, so that in the times when your customers or your revenue is not going to be as high, you make sure that you are monitoring your expenses properly so that it doesn't become an issue. So now we begin to understand why keeping accurate financial records and monitoring them, comparing them, is so important, and it leads into you being able to develop a budget so that you can say, okay, every month, this is what my business is going to be able to spend. This budget I can
Right.
either set at the beginning of the year and I adjust it each month as I get more accustomed to how the business ins and outs are flowing. But it is very important to be able to establish these things so that you can adjust them for price increases, for competition, because somebody else would have come out with a special that may actually be hurting your business. Is your business in a position to be able to compete with this? Or do you have to do something else because your budget is telling you, or your finances are telling you, you can't afford to drop your prices, at least not for a very long period of time.
Mm.
Right.
And these financial records are very important too when you're seeking investment, because you need to show potential investors or the financial institution that you're looking for that loan to invest in your
Yeah.
own business, that you can sustain repaying that loan, or you can sustain to repay investors as well. I think that's a conversation that we should continue on next week as we talk about balancing the books, getting the numbers right, and looking at having a balanced budget. But again, Crystal, thank you for sharing with us this morning. Look forward to hearing from you a bit more next Monday.